Hey, what's going on? It's time for the Real Table Podcast, episode 6. We're already on episode 6. Just feels like not that long ago I was sitting in front of my house doing episode 1. And right now, I am in front of my house. I'm sitting in the driveway though. So I'm looking at the garage instead of, the road. And sure enough, gonna call it now. Probably gonna see some rabbits. Dude, almost every day I come outside, like to go to school or go to work, and there's always at least one rabbit just mad chilling in my lawn. I don't care, but after a while it's like, what are you fuckers up to? What are you hopping around just thinking about? I don't know. So anyways, it is Wednesday, it's Wednesday, April 17th. Just want to make sure I got it right. I didn't start the podcast with a cough like last week. That was pretty funny. It's Wednesday, April 17th, 2019. Yeah, we're more than halfway done with April. Yeah, you know what? It just feels like every year, it feels like every year, January and February are the slowest months. And then when March, April kicks in, it seems like the rest of the year until October. When you get to like August, September, that's when it starts to slow down. Then you get to October and it's like, oh my god, just have the year end already. Like, at least in the summer. When you live in Phoenix, you gotta understand, the summers last forever because every day it's 115 to 117 out. Maybe if it's a good day, it's like 110. You can't touch your seatbelt without getting third-degree burns or whatever. At the very minimum, third-degree burns. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And it's already starting to heat up. Usually mid to late April, that's when things start to heat up a little bit. May is like spring training for the summer heat. And then when June kicks in, first week of June, you're done. We're going to be up to 117. Although I remember a few summers ago, the highest it got was like 105. Which in Phoenix is like, damn, that's really good. Right on. And then monsoon season will kick in. And then we get the few days of rain that we get for the whole day. And then we get humidity. And I don't care. I'll take dry heat over humidity. I cannot deal with humidity. I can't do it. People in Houston, I don't know how they do it. I don't know. So hats off. I'm literally taking my hat off to the people in Houston. Which way would Houston be? I think it'd be over here. Okay. I think I pointed in the right direction. Yeah. I pointed in the right direction. Hold on. No, wait. Yeah, I pointed in the right direction. Just want to make sure. Alright, what to talk about? I got a few things I want to talk about. I guess I'll do this one since this just happened. But I'm going kayaking this weekend. And I got the weekend off. So I'm going to go up early again. But I have to finish all my work because I found out I can't do any homework when I'm up north because the computer that my grandparents have, it doesn't have, Excel. It didn't have Excel, and I highly doubt it's going to have PowerPoint Access. Which I don't even know what Access is. So anyways, I only have 8 assignments due this week instead of 10. Because I don't have an exam to do. So that helps out. So it's like, cool. I'll get 2 or 3 assignments done tonight. And do the quizzes tomorrow. Then finish up Thursday. So I go online to, start up and finish. And sure enough, it says, open up Microsoft Access 2016. And I'm like, what's that? Where is that? And I'm searching the computer, and I can't find it. And I go and ask my sister, and she's taking the same class. And she doesn't know where it's at. So it turns out, after a little bit of research, we don't have it on our computer. And not just that, we don't have PowerPoint on our computer. Which is really weird, because I did a PowerPoint assignment last semester for one class I took. So where did it go? We have Microsoft and Excel, but we don't have the other ones. And I know I've seen those two before. Like I said, I got a bottle of water instead of a cup of water this week. So my only other options are I do the homework at the school, which actually could be a really good thing because then I'll have no distractions. I'll be in a quiet library. I won't get distracted by being in my own house and wanting to, watch TV or whatever. So actually, this could work out. If they don't have it at the school, then I'm kind of screwed because then I have to come back here and then buy it. I mean, I looked at the price it had on the computer there. It said like $70. $70 for two things that we already had on our computer but are gone now. And I think to myself, this is just more money being thrown away that I'm never, going to use again. I like this class, but what the hell is access? I don't get it. At least with PowerPoint, I know what it is. And, PowerPoint, that'll come in handy, especially, when I do or eventually become a teacher, I get that. But, access, what is it? What is that? So I was able to do 2 quizzes, but those are the only 2 assignments that I could do. All the other assignments, I need access. Actually, there are 2 other assignments. It's the extra credit assignments, but it says do this. It like walks you through, access. But I don't know what the hell this is. So instead of it taking 15 to 20 minutes, it might take me double that, 40 minutes to an hour to finish one assignment. So fuck that. I have to do the book work first before I can do the extra credit work. As much as it pains me to say that, it's the truth. It's the truth. I have no choice. I gotta do the book work first because it does actually help me out, especially when I take the exam. And speaking of that, I wasn't able to do one assignment last week, and I didn't do too good on the exam. I was gonna take the exam, but then I had to, a friend of mine wasn't doing too well, so I called them up. So I took the exam the next morning. Didn't do too good of a grade on it. That thing brought my grade down by 8%. Something about that doesn't feel right. Don't get me wrong. I knew it was going to go down. But I didn't think it was going to go that far down. What the hell? And I did the math. Even if I get 100, which I can't because I took 2 quizzes. I got 100 on one and then an 86 on the other one. But there are a couple of bullshit questions on there. Even if I had gotten 100 on every assignment this week, it would have only raised my grade by 2 to 3%. So I don't know. Welcome to school life. Welcome to college life, where for 5 months at a time, you're just so worked up and stressed out. And then it's all right, you barely passed. And you go, great. I wonder if I'm ever going to learn these things. Not learn. Use these things. Nope, guess not. What the fuck? I'm really tired. What is it? It's 1:04. Started 8 minutes ago, so it's 1 a.m. I had a headache for most of the day today, which is weird because I had to go into work early, and then I actually got off work early, thank God. And I came home, I ate some McDonald's, and took a nap, thinking that would make my headache go away, and I think it just made it... I think it didn't make it worse, it just kind of kept it around, because I got up and it was still there. And I went over to a friend of mine. I went over to his apartment and we watched the hockey playoffs again. 2 days in a row. I watched a lot. The last 2 days I've watched about 8 to 9 hours of hockey games, and it's great. I love it. The Penguins are eliminated. They got swept by the Islanders, and Tampa Bay, the team that had 62 wins, 128 points in the regular season, got swept in the first round by the 8-seed Columbus Blue Jackets. Oh my God. You gotta be kidding me. Nobody saw this coming. Nobody. I mean, this is unbelievable. And I watched games 3 and 4. Well, part of 4. Also, I love how when I when I have to record, my entire body just starts like acting up and wants to make all these bodily burpee sounds, and I hate it. Oh my god. Oh my god. My god. Man. But anyways, so good for Columbus, good for New York. What else we got? Vegas won. They killed San Jose. Oh, it was so great to watch. I love watching San Jose, flop. So Vegas is up 3-1. Winnipeg has won 2 in a row. That series is tied at 2. And I think those are the only games that were being played today. I believe. So anyways, it's getting good. It's getting real good. And baseball, Diamondbacks won today. They beat Atlanta, which Atlanta is actually a pretty good team. They're 8-9 on the year. They're still like 2 games back in the NL West. I don't know. Tampa Bay Rays are actually, I think they're 13-4. They have the best record in all of baseball. And you know what? Good for them. They are definitely, if I had to like be a fan of another team other than the Diamondbacks, Tampa Bay would totally be up there. I know they're an American League team, and I'm not a huge fan of the American League, period, especially some American League teams, like the Red Sox and Yankees and, all those teams. But Tampa Bay has been such a low market team. Their budget is like 60, 70 million, a year. But recently they've been competing, they've been playing hard, and I'd love to see Tampa Bay not just go to World Series, but win. I would love to see it. So in terms of baseball, I don't think there's anything else. I thought there was something funny I saw recently in baseball, but I don't remember. I still got to buy my Yankee tickets. The Yankees are coming to town this month actually. So I need to get those tickets. But anyways, here's one thing that's happened that I definitely need to talk about is I got a haircut. And I've showed a lot of people this haircut, like in person, and I took a picture of it. I think everyone, except for maybe like 1 or 2, but everyone, and even the people who didn't say, yeah, it looks good, but they didn't say it looked bad. But anyways, a lot of people are saying it looks good. I still don't really like it. Okay? And that goes to show you, if you get a haircut or change your hairstyle or clothes style, and everyone says you love it, or everyone says they love it, but you don't, then that really is saying something. I don't even really know how to describe this haircut other than it kind of looks like a Marine cut. A little bit. Like it's like shaved on the sides, but I still have hair on the top. But I kind of look like a carrot when you pull it out of the ground. How you pull it out and it's like poofy on the top, and then it's shaved on the sides, and then there's the rest of the body. That's what I look like. So it was a couple days ago. It was on Monday. I went to school, and I came back, and I was going to take a nap, but I just waited too long because the playoffs started at 4, and it was like 3 o'clock, 3:30, and there's a barber right down the street from my house. So I'm like, I'm going to get in the shower and go get my hair cut and come back and watch the game. Or games, So I got in the shower, I went to the barber, and a couple friends of mine sent me a picture of, get your hair cut like this and show it to the guy. This is what you look, really good at. And I'm like, okay. Okay. So I go over there. I don't even know what that was impression was. That's just a funny voice Alex uses sometimes. So I go over there, I walk in, and there's like 4 or 5 seats. You know how a barber is, there's 4 or 5 seats all lined up, and I walk over to the, one guy available in the back, because there's only one other woman, she's busy, and he's just like, oh, hello, come over, and he leads me to the back where there's this little wall cutting off from the other seats, and there's one other chair with its own TV in the back, and I'm like, oh, I guess I get the VIP experience or what? I don't know. I was like cut off from the rest of the barber, but it wasn't like its own room. I don't know, it was really weird. So I go over there, and he, points to the chair, and I sit down, and I'm like, doesn't this guy want to know what kind of style I want? Or is this like freestyle hour? What's happening? So I pull out my phone, because I had the picture ready, and I show it to him. I'm like, can we do something like this? He literally looks at the photo for like 2 seconds, and he goes, okay. And then he walks away, and I'm like, and I didn't say anything, but in my head, I'm like, don't you want to look at it, a little longer than a second? Don't you want to, like, study it? This is my hair, dude. If you mess this up, it's not like we can just glue the hair back on. I gotta own this shit. So, he puts the thing on, and he starts going, and I'm sitting right in front of the TV. And in front of the TV, I shit you not, he has Spy Kids 3 Game Over playing right in front of me. Voice crack. Right in front of me. And I'm just like, wow, blast from the past. I haven't watched any Spy Kids movie in years. I don't even remember the last one I watched. I think it was the second one, which is probably the best one in the series, if I'm being honest. That's one with Steve Buscemi where he says the line, do you think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created? Or something like that. It's pretty funny. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching it. And as I'm watching it, I'm like, man, this movie's... I remember I saw that movie in the theaters when I was like maybe even 9, 10 years old. And now I watch it and I go, man, these graphics are terrible. They are terrible. But, it's still fun to watch. It's one of those things where you watch something as a kid, you love it. Then you watch it as an adult and you go, oh man, the graphics are terrible. But you still have fun watching it. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching this and I noticed that there were no commercials. And I'm like, did he buy the DVD of this? Or is this a movie channel? Which, I don't know what would be weirder. The fact this Russian dude went out and bought Spy Kids 3, Game Over. Or there's a movie channel that's actually playing Spy Kids 3. I don't know which one would be weirder. Or funnier, actually. I think the DVD one would be funnier. Because it's like, who told him, yeah, you're going to run your own barber. You're going to have some movies to play for the people. Definitely get Spy Kids 3 Game Over. Why was that at the top of this guy's list? I guess we'll never know. So anyways, he's got the movie playing and I'm watching it, and also while I'm watching it, not only did I notice that the graphics are bad, but I was getting a very Matrix vibe from it. It's almost like the filmmakers watched The Matrix and then just wanted to kind of recreate it again, because there's a scene in there where, like, I forgot her name, I think, like Penelope Cruz or somebody, she's like, can you get him out of there? And the guy's like, oh no, we can't. It's like, dude, this is totally The Matrix, except it's a video game instead of The Matrix or whatever, which is not really a bad thing. I'm just saying, it's just something I noticed. But about halfway through, the mirror was right next to me, but I was looking at the TV, so I did that thing. Because sometimes you sit in front of the mirror, you get your haircut, you can see the progress as it goes. Well, if that were the case, this haircut probably would have gone a lot different. Or maybe not, I don't know. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'll look over and see the process, see how it's coming along. I know it's not finished. So I turn to my right and I look. And I'm looking in the mirror and I notice something I've never seen before. About an inch above my ears, maybe like a little more, but like about an inch above my ears, there's little to no hair. And I'm looking at myself and I'm like, what? That looks kind of weird. And I'm thinking, what the hell? And I'm thinking back to the picture I showed the guy. And I think to myself, oh no. In the picture, the guy had a lot of hair on the top. Almost kind of like poofed or spiked up a little bit. But little to no hair on his sides. And then a beard. And I'm like, oh fuck, what did I just do? Because it's not this guy's fault. He's kind of just doing what was shown in the photo. So he turns around and I look back at the TV and I'm trying to like show that I'm trying to show that I like the haircut, even though I'm like scared to death. Because dude, you get a bad haircut You have to own that. I mean, you only have so many options. You can grow your hair out. You can grow it. You can cut it shorter. You can only, or wear a hat. You know? So I'm sitting there, and while I'm watching Spy Kids, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I got to wear a hat for the next at least 2 to 3 months. I can't go out in public. I can't hang out, with people. And if I do, I have to wear a hat all the time. Oh, man, this is going to be... I got to buy a hat for the stadium, all this stuff. And he finishes, and I look at it, and I'm just like, yeah, it looks good. I love it. Yeah, I didn't say I love it, but I'm like, yeah, it looks good. And then I ask if he can trim my beard, which, again, that was a first. I never had a barber trim my beard before. I've usually done it myself. Trying something different. So he trims it up, paid him, and I left, and I walk outside, and I could feel the wind hitting the side of my head. And I'm like, this is weird, dude. This is really weird. It's like when I shave and I can feel wind hit my actual face. Feels weird. But on the side of my head, it doesn't feel right. And I look in the mirror and I'm like, dude, I look like Josh Donaldson on the Braves, which is not really a good thing. I mean, the guy's a millionaire, so I guess that's, pretty cool, but still... And I get in, and while I was there, my other job called me, and, I was in a pretty salty mood, so I kind of called them back, and I kind of was a little upset, because in my head, I just thought, I just got a bad haircut, this is going to be terrible. Everyone's going to look at me and just, point and laugh, and be like, what happened to your hair? So I go back to the house, and I'm, sitting there, and I'm just kind of watching the game. I'm not really enjoying it. My sister comes out. My sister thought I was bald because I had the hat on, and when I had the hat on, you look at the side of my head, it looks like I have no hair. It looks like I went bald, but with a beard. So, I don't know. So I took my hat off, and she's like, hey, it looks good. It looks really different, but it looks good. And I'm like, oh, God. Because usually when people say it's different, but it's good, that's kind of implying it's not really looking too good. It's not a good start. Not all the time, but just saying sometimes. So eventually my dad came home, and he was the one that said, it kind of looks like almost like a Marine cut. And I messaged a couple of people. I messaged the people who sent me the photo. I took a picture of myself, and I'm like, dude, I don't like this. This looks awful. And they're just like, what do you mean? You look really good. And then I just started thinking, you know what, maybe it's not that bad. I don't know. But I can't give myself a compliment because I don't want to jinx myself. So, we'll see what happens. And then I went over to Alex's later that night, and I was talking to him about it. And he's like, watch, you're going to get, so many girls now. And I was like, you know what? I would have that kind of luck where I get it. Because, like I was explaining to my sister, this isn't like I was trying to change my look and redefine my appearance. No, this was an accident. I didn't want this drastic of a style change. It just kind of happened by accident. So that's a little different when it's an accident than when it's on purpose. But it would be kind of ironic, if I went out to a bar or a restaurant or whatever, and it gets to a point where I can actually see that, other, girls are checking me out, then it's gonna be like, this is weird. I got a haircut I didn't want to get, and this is what it took. Years of walking the earth trying to find the answer to getting people or getting chicks' attention, and it was getting a haircut that I didn't even wanted. Man, I wish I could go back in time to 2014, 2015, be like, yo, fam, I know this is gonna look weird now. Maybe wait a year, but you gotta get this haircut. So I don't know. But I'm still getting used to it. When I lay down, I can feel the pillow on the sides of my head. It just feels weird. But I am getting more used to it as the days go on. So I don't know. It's just different. And someone said, this'll push you out of your comfort zone, and that could be a good thing. I don't know. We'll see. But I put on my glasses, and I looked in the mirror, and I thought to myself, I look like I just came back from overseas, and I just saw some serious shit. I got the beard, And like with a hat on, it looks like I'm actually bald. Or like almost bald. It's just, it's weird, really weird. I've never have done or even thought about doing anything like this before. And I did it by accident. So there you go. And when I say by accident, because I had the photo on me, I just didn't think, it just looked, I thought it would be a lot different in my head. Basically what it is now, just more hair on the side. So, I don't know. But anyways, this weekend, we're going kayaking, and I'm so looking forward to it. All I have to do is get through this bullshit homework stuff, and then that's it. And actually, I got a few other things. The next few weeks are going to be stressful, to say the least. And you guessed it, because of school and everything. Kind of like, and I was going to go into this at the beginning of the podcast, but I kind of got sidetracked, so we'll go into it now. But my sister was telling me about one of her teachers and how she doesn't like him, he acts like this, and blah, blah, blah. And I think to myself, you know what? Recently, with the whole Red for Ed thing, it just feels like, look, I get it. Teachers don't get paid a lot. They should get paid more. Not like, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't think, no, not like that. But they should definitely get paid more than, what they're getting now. Teachers are a big thing. They're a big deal. They're shaping, some of these kids' minds, from all the way to preschool, all through high school, and even in college. If you're not teaching properly, then you're not putting these kids or these students, these young coming-of-age adults, you're not putting them on the right track and everything. And you have to. And it's a lot harder than it is. Well, yeah, dude. That's the point. It's a hard job. Adults tell kids all the time, nothing's easy in life, blah, blah, blah. Well, same goes for teaching. Okay? And I get, you're not getting paid a lot. But you knew beforehand going into it. I was literally having a conversation with somebody right before I recorded. And I said, yeah, I know they don't get paid a lot, but they knew beforehand going into it. So there's not a lot to feel sorry for. It'd be different if they were lied to and said, yeah, you'll get paid, $55,000 a year. Then they get in and they only make like $35,000 a year. It's like, yeah, you got lied to. That's pretty shitty. Okay, I get it. But they knew beforehand. And in one of my classes, this semester, actually, a teacher wore the red for Ed shirt. And I couldn't really take him serious. That's like going to a church and the pastor's wearing a Slayer t-shirt. You just can't really take anything he's going to say serious. Like, talking about like, praising Jesus. And you go, dude, your shirt literally goes against everything you're saying. And this whole Red for Ed thing is basically saying, I'm not getting paid enough to do my job. So people go, so you don't care about your job right now? Because you're not getting paid a lot. So what are you doing here? Or are you going to like go rogue and just like not teach us? You're going to come and like babysit. I don't know. Because a lot of teachers nowadays, and I've seen it myself, they teach something once, somebody asks them a question, and then they go like, you should have been paying attention, figure it out. You go, wow, is that what it is to become a teacher? You're telling me it takes like 4 to 6 years to become a teacher just to teach something once and then go like, fuck you, you didn't, pay attention. I'm not repeating it. What's a teacher nowadays? A babysitter? Again, sign me up for that. And I am going to school to become a teacher and everything, but I know going into it, I'm not going to make a lot of money, but I have a plan, to make some extra money. I'm going to keep my job down at the stadium. I'll have something, a little tiny bit of extra money coming in, but it'll still help out. And I'm still involved with something that I love. It's my first true love in life is, baseball, sports, but in this case, specifically baseball. So that's my plan. For the rest of, unless something else comes into play. If I were to join a band or whatever and tour the country, man, and play all over the place. That'd be great. But, you know, the music industry is, well, it's been dying. In fact, I think it's almost dead at this point. Because everything is just about the record label. Geddy Lee of Rush put it simply, back then, record companies, and we're talking like the 70s, he said back then record companies knew it took you 2 to 3 albums before you broke through and started making money. Nowadays, and also back then, record companies were willing to help you out with making a record. Nowadays, record companies, before they even sign you, they want you to go out and make your own record. And you go, dude, that's like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And not just that, but it's not even a guarantee. You want us to spend all this money and make this CD only for us to hear, okay, we'll get back to you. You know, there's 2,500 other bands that we're probably going to sign before you, but we'll get back to you. Halfway done, boys. So I don't know. Just the music industry, like I said, is just not in. It's not heading in a good direction because everything's on touring. That's where all the money is, and even then, it's not even that much. Being a touring musician nowadays is almost like working at a fucking Burger King. You make practically the same amount of money, but the job is way cooler and different. But you're still barely making enough money to make ends meet. Not just that, but you need to have like 2 or 3 other jobs on top of making money. It's like you need to be working when you're not playing a show on the road. Well, I mean, like, what the fuck? What are you supposed to do? That's why it's like the music industry is kind of just slowly dying because people don't want to go out and buy the record. They want to just wait. Hey, have you heard this the new album? It's just like, hey, I heard a couple songs on YouTube. Like, no, go out and buy the record. Listen to it. If you don't like it, just take it back. Keep your receipt. Okay? Man, there are people I know right now in my life that do that shit, and it bothers me. You know, and so it's like, hey, can I borrow your CD to put on my computer? It's like, just go out and buy the CD, dude. You know, why? I don't buy it. I buy the CD, but I don't buy the whole, come on, just let me borrow your CD, blah, blah, blah. No, just go out and buy it. Go out and buy it, okay? Especially if you have your own CD collection, go out and buy the damn CD and put it in your collection, okay? So I don't know. I love music. I'll be playing music for the rest of my life as long as I can, you know, keep playing, because drums is... Dude, drummers have so many physical problems when they get older. I'm just not looking forward to it at all. My back and, you know, knees and everything already hurt. And my right hand and everything, it already hurts. So what's it going to be like when I'm 40 or 50? You know, my God, like I look at some of these drummers. I look at Metallica or Dream Theater or the Rolling Stones, Charlie Watts. That guy's still going. I think he's actually 80. He's like 79 or 80. But yeah, I don't know, man. Just I'm not looking forward to getting older. I'm not. You know, people used to say, when I was younger, people used to say like, yo, when you're older, you have so much freedom. And you go, freedom in some cases, but if anything, you have more restrictions when you're an adult. When you're a kid, you have to pay taxes. When you're an adult, you have to pay taxes. You know, when you're a kid, you don't have to do some things. When you're a kid, you have chores, but you don't have a job. You know, you don't have to do a bunch of shit that you have to do when you're even a teenager. Or a young adult and everything. But, you know what? Comparing being a young adult now back to like the 80s or 70s, I'm not entirely sure. But you know what? Because I've been reading, you know, you look at some ball players back in the 40s or the 50s, and it was pretty common, and they would take a couple years off and go serve in the military and then come back and keep playing. Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio did that. I think Pete Rose did that too. Oh, and you know who else? Mel Brooks. And if you don't know who Mel Brooks is, then you're not a true comedy fan. If you don't know Mel Brooks, he did Spaceballs, The Producers, History of the World, and, what else? Young Frankenstein, Blazing Saddles, I think. Yeah. But mostly Spaceballs. I think that's his best one. I love Spaceballs. The movie's so funny. And actually, weirdly enough, Spaceballs has been not common, but just my generic ringtone on my phone for, I think, 5 years at this point. I remember early 2014, I changed my ringtone to Spaceballs, and that's been it. Of course, now I give, people certain ringtones, so I know they're calling when I get a phone call. And apparently that's a dying thing. Like, I talk to some people, nobody does that. I'm like the only one who gives people special ringtones. I don't get it. I mean, I don't know. What is it? At my one of my jobs now at the restaurant, I changed it to, I don't know what it is, but it's just, they just took some dude going, hell no, to the no, no, no. Just put that on a loop. Hell no. That used to be my ringtone for the restaurant. And then I changed it. I don't remember what I changed it to. I changed it to steamed hams, but I gotta change it because that's too happy. That's too happy. When your work calls you, you need like an oh shit ringtone. You need something that's gonna go, oh fuck. Not something that makes you laugh. Yeah, it's funny. Oh, it's my work, we don't want that. So anyways, let's review a Metallica song. This week, this Wednesday, it's The God That Failed off of the Black Album. I believe it's the 10th track on the album. I'm going to be honest, I'm not too familiar with this track. I've listened to it before, but not too many times. It's alright. Do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do. Follow the God that failed. It's actually one of the most personal tracks in Metallica's catalog because James wrote it about his parents, specifically about his mom. And his mom was a Christian and refused medical treatment because she said that, praying and her religion will, cure her, and, it didn't happen. So James has actually written a few songs about that, and The God That Failed is probably the, biggest one. So when you listen to the song, it's like, yeah, and then you read the lyrics and you go, oh, whoa, geez. It's a heavy song. It's almost like it gives the song a different feel. And I'll give you an example of that. A few months back, actually 2 months back, specifically, actually I think it's almost been 2 months. But anyways, Dream Theater released their latest album, Distance Over Time. It's a great album. It's really good. It's a return to their roots, in a way. But I did like it. But they had a song, before the album came out, they were, kind of teasing it, and they would release, a title. We have a song called Paralyzed, and it's like, ooh, Paralyzed. I wonder if that's going to be instrumental or whatever. We have this other one called Fall Into the Light, and you go, ooh, that's pretty cool, or whatever. And then they were talking about, there's a song on there called At Wit's End. At Wit's End. And I'm like, oh man, that sounds like it's going to be a crazy instrumental. That's got to be like 7 to 9 minute instrumental. Here we go. And then as the months went by and they started releasing more information on the album, it came out that there's actually no instrumental on the album. And I'm like, that's too bad. Okay, but anyways, At Wit's End, maybe it'll be about, going crazy, or, maybe because they've written about mental disorders before in the past, so maybe they'll kind of bring that theme back. And the singer, James LaBrie, wrote the lyrics for it. And it's the longest song in the album. It's like 9:21, which is not that long for Dream Theater. But he wrote it. You know what that song's about, At Wit's End? He said it's about a victim of rape and the after effects of living with it and moving on from it and dealing with it. Not just her, but the husband too, the spouse. And I'm like, oh wow, that is a heavy subject. But this is not the first time Dream Theater's taken on a heavy subject before. They've written about, many different things. Like I said, they've written plenty of songs about mental disorders and everything, and the effects it has on the person and the people around them. But anytime you have a song that is dealing with rape or the after effects of it, it really kind of really makes you think. Because music is not just about making you feel good and happy, it's also about bringing awareness. Because you go, what's that song about? And someone tells you, and you go, oh wow, then it gets you to read up on that subject and maybe open your mind, open your third eye, man, to whatever subject. And in this case, it's a really serious subject. And, I read it and I'm like, oh wow. So, okay, so, bring it. So I listened to the song, and when I first listened to it, I'm like, this is good, I like it. And, listening to it, because you listen to the album first time through, you're like, oh, this is great. And then you listen to it second, third, fourth time, you really start to study and analyze it. It really started to kind of have an effect on me, because the song is called At Wit's End. So there are some parts where the guitar is just going like, it's just kind of, it sounds crazy. It sounds kind of frantic and everything. I'm trying to portray that image of kind of almost losing your mind. And the first half of the song is, what I'm guessing, from the male point of view, saying, you don't have to go through this alone. I'm here for you. I'm trying to help, but you have to, kind of open yourself up, to an extent. You don't have to, go through this alone. And then the chorus is pretty much, don't leave me now. And halfway through, everything stops and the piano kicks in, and then the female perspective comes into play, which is basically saying, he's trying to help me. He's saying all these things, but he has something that I don't have that was taken from me. And, I'll forever be stuck in this kind of, what's the lyric? It's like, trapped, warped inside this endless, or something like that. Something like trapped in this hopeless, endless feeling. And the song fades. It ends with a really pretty emotional guitar solo that kind of makes you feel sad a little bit. It's like beautifully tragic, if that makes any sense. And it just ends with the singer just repeating the line, "Don't leave me now." And it like kind of, when you first hear it, when I first listened to it, it's like, that's sad. And then I've been listening to it ever since then, and it's been like about 2 months. And when that part kicks on, it just really makes me feel sad. And it makes me think somebody should make a movie on this. There probably has been a movie. But I think that I can see, because when I was a kid, I wanted to be a film director. So when I listen to some some moments in that song, it gives me ideas for certain scenes that you can make. But I don't know how I would write that. I've never thought about writing about anything dealing with such an intense subject like that. But visually, I have ideas. Especially the "Don't Leave Me Now" thing. And a couple of small scenes where, again, the music just paints a picture in my head. And it just goes to show you how this band that's so far into their career is still making good music. And like I said, that guitar solo at the end really, it gets me. It makes me feel something, And I love it. And let me just say right now, okay, thank God. I thought this was going to stop recording. I was just trying to check the time. Okay, 1:40. Not bad. I'm not going to get 8 hours of sleep tonight, but maybe I can get 7.5, maybe. I don't know. This has been kind of an interesting podcast. It hasn't really been too fun. Well, the Spy Kids haircut story, that was kind of funny. Recently, the last like 15, 20 minutes has been pretty serious. But you know what? You need a little change of pace from time to time. You need to be this. I want this to be a mainly funny, comical podcast. But you got to get serious a little bit, all right? But we're not going to end on such a not a downer, but just kind of like a low serious note. Well, I'll try to bring it back up. I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna bring it back like Chris Rock said. I'm gonna bring it back. God, Chris Rock is hilarious. He's actually one of the best comedians ever. And speaking of comedians, I've told a couple people this, but I guess I'll just say it on here. But I do want to go to an open mic and try to perform. Do some stand-up. And I've been working on some material. In fact, I came up with something pretty good while I was up north, actually. And ironically, it was when I was in the shower. I do my best thinking, come up with my best ideas when I'm usually taking a shower. I don't know. That's just how it is. I don't know. How it is by Rush. Oh, by the way, before I forgot to mention this, but The God That Failed, I've never played on drums before. Just wanted to throw that back out there. And get some water really quick. Oh, man. So what is it? And I lost my train of thought. That's really cool. That's real neato. Anyways, so I said before, the next few weeks is going to be stressful because of homework and everything. I have to do I have to do at least 2 more exams for my computer class. I have to do 1 exam for my logic class, which I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm going to pass that class. That's going to come down to the fucking wire. It really is. It's almost like if this team's going to make the playoffs, it's going to go right to the very end. It's going to be at the last game of the season. I'm going to be like the Columbus Blue Jackets this year, where if I do make the playoffs, it's going to be like at the very end, and I'm just going to swap with some other team. Because right now I have like a 71 in that class, and you need at least a 70 to pass it. So these last 2 quizzes are going to be so crucial. And then after that, I have to take the exam. So we'll see what happens. And then, what is it? And then for my music class, I have to do an essay, which, the Caribbean drumming essay, which I did the bibliography on it. Dude, I don't know. I still don't know how I'm going to write that thing. It's going to be the most bullshit thing I've ever done since high school. Like, I've bullshit plenty of things. Make things up as you go, bullshit. I haven't done anything at this magnitude since senior year of high school. Which, I'll tell that story really quick. So, back then, it was English class, senior year. What? English? Yeah, I think it was English 7-8. I think. I don't really remember for sure. But we had to... What were we reading? Oh, we were reading Hamlet. Well, actually, we were watching the movie Hamlet, and also kind of reading it. We were watching the 4-hour movie. The Kenneth Branagh version, which actually was a decent movie. We watched it in parts, and we skipped a few. But I kind of liked it. I just didn't like how... Voice crack. I didn't like how the whole movie and play was basically a build-up for like a epic 45-second fight at the end of the movie, and then that's it. It's like, come on, really? And in the play, I'm sure it's a little different. But anyways, I forgot where it was. I think it was in like the beginning of the movie. or the play or something like that. And we got into groups, and we had to come up. It was something like we had to take a scene from Hamlet and compare it to a movie scene, a TV show, or an event in real life, and reenact both scenes in our 3 to 4 5-man group. Okay, so it was like Friday. I think it was Friday, and some groups had to present, some got to wait until Monday. And I don't know why, but I think the teacher's assistant walked over and she asked us what we were going to do. And I don't know why or how, but I remember I built us up. I was just like, oh, we got something good. We got something big planned. And she's just like, oh, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited to see what you guys got. And they left, or she left, and everyone's like, what'd you do? Why'd you tell her that? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying to make it seem like we're doing something over here. So, fast forward to Friday. There's like 10, 15 minutes left in class. The teacher walks over to us and she said, you guys are going to perform at the end of class. And we were like, okay, yeah, sounds good. And she walks away. And I turned to the others. I was the leader of the group, which hardly ever happens. But they looked at me, and they looked like deer in headlights. They were just like wide-eyed and like panicking, shitting their pants. They're like, dude, we can't do this. We can't do this. And one of them said, and maybe this motivated me, but one of them said, let's go up and ask her if we can have more time and perform next week, and maybe she'll let us do it. And I think she had some rule saying if you did that, you would lose a letter grade. So the highest we could get is like an 89 or something like that. And I said, no, then she'll know we didn't do anything and we'll get a bad grade. And they're like, well, what are we going to do? And I'm like, let me think. It was, telling you, man, it was like a movie scene. It was so funny. Jeez. So anyways, I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, and another group's performing their scene or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, what are we going to do? And I got an idea. And so I was thinking, what scene could we do in Hamlet that we could recreate with another scene? Like, compare the two. And I thought of it, okay. And I looked at the other guys. I'm like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the wedding scene in Hamlet. And they go like, yeah. And I said, okay, we're going to reenact the scene from Step Brothers, the wedding scene in Step Brothers. And they're like, the what? And I'm like, the movie Step Brothers in the beginning. And I explained the movie, and they're like, yeah, I've seen it. I think one guy didn't. And I said, okay, in the beginning of Step Brothers, there's a wedding, parents get married, Will Ferrell and John Riley are upset, okay? In Hamlet, it's the same thing, okay? So we'll just reenact both scenes. And they're like, I don't think we can do this, man. What are we going to do? And I'm like, just let me take the lead on this, okay? But, okay, so you're going to play this. You're going to play this. I'm like the fucking football coach. I'm like setting up this play. And I'm like, I'll do this. You guys do this, and blah, blah, blah. When I point to you, you say this, and blah. And they're just like, oh, okay. So, and I'm like, maybe we won't do it. And sure enough, we had to do it. So the teacher's like, okay, this group in the back, Stone's group. And we're walking up, and I'm like, go with it. And I said, guys, act confident. Don't look like you don't know what you're doing, because she'll know something's up. And they're like, okay. And as we're walking up, I'll always remember this. I walk up, and the assistant to the teacher, or whatever her name is, she said, oh, I'm really looking forward to this one. I've been really looking forward to it. The whole class heard it. Like, the whole class is dead silent when she said that. And I'm like, thanks for building that up. So we go up there, and I'm just kind of like leading everybody on. I'm just like leading it. So I explained. So there's wedding scene in Hamlet. We're gonna reenact that right now. So we reenact the Hamlet wedding scene, and then I go, so there's this other scene in Step Brothers, this 2008 movie starring Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. And the parents get married, and Brennan and Dale, Will Ferrell and John Riley, are not happy about it. And we reenacted it, and I don't remember how it went. All I remember, I just walked away, in the skit, I pretended to walk away and I was saying, this wedding's horse crap. Because I was too afraid to say horse shit. And I definitely didn't want to risk it, so I just said horse crap. And got a couple of laughs from the audience. And then that was it. And then we got our grade back. We got a 36 out of 40. Like, dude, more clutch. That was more clutch than anything Derek Jeter or Reggie Jackson has ever done in their career. Or Madison Bumgarner. Just saying. Awesome. I'm getting pumped up right now thinking about it. Because I looked at them. I looked at the 3 other guys in our group. And I was just like, and you wanted to wait. You wanted to ask for more time. You wanted to wait till next week to do it. I just got you guys an A- on this thing. And they were like blown away. And I'm like, I'll see you fuckers on Monday, man. And I walked out of that class. I was so happy. And that was the last time I had to bullshit my way through something. And I got an A- for it, pretty much. Or an A. Jeez. Yeah, that sounded sexy. Alright, what are we at? 56 minutes? Alright, I'm gonna probably go for like another 10 minutes and wrap up. I'm pretty tired. I love how I had that headache all day, and then at night, which I would be okay with having a headache at night. Sure enough, it's not here. So yeah, with that whole why I told that story, I'm gonna have to bullshit this Caribbean drumming, or Caribbean? Parts of the Caribbean. Oh my god, I don't know. I can't even say it right. I can't even say the word right, and I pretty much have to write an essay based on it. I am so fucked. Unless I can, like, maybe I can go and ask the teacher if I can, like, if I can write my paper on something else. I don't think I can. But anyways, I have to do a music report as well. I have to go to a concert and then write a review for it. That only has to be like 2-3 pages long, I think. I wrote my last one. He gave me a 60 out of 100. And he said, like, needs a lot of revisions. Come to me if you have any questions. It's like, you can't give me more than that? I think he wrote one thing. I think he said it wasn't long enough, and I don't even remember. I don't like it when teachers do that. It's like, needs a lot of work. You know, come and see me if you want. It's like, you can't give me like 2 things. 2 things to work with. I don't get like some teachers' things nowadays. It's like, I want you to fail, but I'm not going to help you. I just want you to fail so you can kind of experience what failing is like. And then maybe you'll pay attention more. It's like, yeah, but aren't you supposed to like kind of help me through it a little bit? Look, I'm not good at math. So if I go up to a math teacher and I go, look, I'm sorry, but I don't understand this. You're going to have to walk me through this thing really slow, like, you know? And speaking of math, I don't know how I passed that math class last semester. But I did, you know, that's all that matters. So we're at 58 minutes, almost an hour. That's pretty good. Maybe this is the part of the podcast where we start wrapping things up over here. Oh, man. So over the weekend when I went up north, I was talking to my uncle about... I forgot how we got onto the subject, but we were basically the conversation was things you don't say to a woman. And, of course, they're the obvious ones. You know, you don't ask her her age or how much she weighs, which, you know, why would you ever want to ask a woman how much she weighs? Is that really a question that guys just are like, how much she weigh? You know, it's just like, it just builds up inside them. They have to just blurt it out. I mean, come on. I didn't know it was that big of a deal that guys had to, like, you know, ask it or, like, insinuate they want to talk about it or whatever. And what was it? Okay, yeah. So one thing my uncle told me was, you don't tell a woman to calm down because that only makes it worse. Not only does she not calm down, but she gets even more riled up. And I said, yeah, that's kind of like standing next to a pile, you know, that's like standing next to a fire and just throwing more gasoline on it. You're like, Hey, I thought this was water, but it's actually gasoline, so I just made it worse. Something like that. Oh, that wind kind of scared me. Kind of made this weird noise. Oh, we are at an hour. Right on. Cool. We made it, boys and girls. Or guys and women. I don't know. That's not wind. That's a fucking, like, airplane? That has to be an airplane. I can't see anything. Okay, so you know what? No rabbits, but possible airplane. I don't know. The Jersey Devil may have made an appearance in the last one. Maybe he's back. Kind of stalking me like a fucking prick. Whatever, dude. Get your own life. Quit following me around. But, you know, just JK, just love you. Just don't, you know, do anything to me. And then another thing we came up with was, oh yeah, you don't compare a woman to another woman, alright? You just don't do that. Because my uncle was saying how, he was like, you know, I was talking to, you know, my aunt, and he goes, you know, I said, you know, Joanne does this with her kid, and he, you know, doesn't really misbehave. And then she goes, are you comparing me to Joanne? And it's like, well, you're doing this one thing, it's not really working. She's doing it with another kid, and it's working. And I look at my uncle, and I'm like, why would you compare her with another woman? You don't do that. And he goes, you know what? It happened. I made a mistake. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not even that old and have gone through life that much. But even I know, you don't compare girls with other girls, especially, oh God, girls that know, especially if you're comparing your girl to another girl that she knows. That, like, makes it 1,000 times worse. You just don't do it. You just don't do it. As much as you, like, so want to, you don't do it. You might as well just take out a gun and just shoot yourself in the foot. You know, it doesn't do anything. You don't get anything out of it. And I'm sure there are plenty of other things. Right now, those are only 4 things I got. I'm sure there are a couple other things that that you don't say. There are plenty of things you don't do, but we're talking about, like, things you don't, like, say. Because things you don't do is, like, I feel like is a little more obvious. But things you don't say, it's a little more interesting. And my grandmother heard all this, and she was just like, you know, there are things you shouldn't say to a guy. And I'm like, well, can you name one? And she goes like, well, I'm going to go back in the living room, and, you know, I can't think about it right now. My uncle's like, yeah, because there's probably not a lot of things you don't say to guys. And he's kind of right, but there are some things you just, you know, you don't say to a guy. If you're a girl. If you're a girl, what do you not say to a guy? I guess you don't, you know, go after his manhood. You don't question his manhood. You don't make fun of his penis size. You don't make fun of his wiener. Sorry. The word wiener just makes me laugh. I just really quick, and then I will end it. But you ever notice when you watch porn or when you, like, dirty talk with somebody, there are just certain words you don't say. And I'm sorry, but penis and wiener are definitely words you don't hear in porn. You don't hear a guy go, suck my wiener. You know, you just don't. You know, you don't hear a girl go like, you got such a big penis. Because it would make you laugh. And you don't want to laugh when you're watching porn, okay? You just don't. It's just kind of true. And you know what? That's a truth of reality, but no one has thought of that until I said it. And on that note, we're going to end it. And I will see you on Saturday. So until then, be safe, get laid, and I'll see you on Saturday. Bye.